Hello, my honeys. This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle, and welcome to my channel. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I really love the comments. I'm keeping up with you all. Some things that you're sharing are just super deep. And I really appreciate group number 3 from the last reading. I was right. You had some really cool information regarding how to handle my allergies in a more natural way. So I appreciate everyone who gave me some suggestions. I'm taking you up on it. I'm ready to resolve this issue. If you're brand new here, welcome. My name is Kamara. I'm a psychic medium. I channel my ancestors. I channel the divine ancient Sibyls and also spirit, everyone that sits at the feet of spirit. So I hope that you find these messages useful, helpful, and maybe even thought provoking. Okay, so I did a quick TikTok earlier on why you are a triple threat. And then, you know what? Spirit was like, hey, we could do a channel message about this as well. I was like, I'm up for it, Spirit. I'm up for it. So we have 4 groups here. And the avatars come through as strong as usual. You do not have to just pick by avatar. You can switch these avatars around to your liking, but there will be groups 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me go to my online self here. Hello, everyone. And sometimes I'm going to do these showing my face, sometimes I won't. So, everyone says they're good either way. So, thank you, everyone. Let's go to group number 1. Why are you a triple threat? I was going to do a general reading. Maybe I'll do that in the end if it feels like there could be one. But group number 1, why are you a triple threat? You have the renewal card here. Regeneration begins with decay. So group number 1, I'll put it up here so that you could see it for a little bit. I like this deck, and this deck was calling to me for this reading. So I went and got it off the shelf. So group number 1, I think one of the main reasons, and we're going to tap into many, of why people consider you a triple threat is that you don't mind reinventing yourself. Even from the most challenging situations, you do not mind taking an opportunity to transmute or transition, even transform who you are. Very specific. I could be talking to someone who may be trans, identifies as trans. It's not everyone, but there's somebody maybe in this first group that might identify as that you took an opportunity to really begin to dive into the identity you feel like you needed to be in. Now, for others of you, this too could mean your identity, but in many different ways. Maybe for someone, Spirit is even giving a transmission that most of your identity has been that of a parent, maybe a mother, maybe a father, or just a parent. And you took that as maybe your kids are older now and you've really decided to step out of that role specifically to be or find out who you are now, to reinvent who you are now, because maybe a good part of your life as an adult was parenting, but now that is not really your focus. I mean, I don't think you ever retire from being a parent. I like to joke and say that, but really when your kids become an adult, They're living their own life, and you still have a lot of life in you. You know, taken from someone who has a 30-year-old. I mean, I'm in my mid 50s, and it's like you understand at a certain point that there are certain identities that, have helped define who you are. But once those identities shift a little bit, who are you? So for you, group number one, you're a triple threat because it's in your very nature to change. It's in your very nature to transform. Some of you went through, I'm seeing this bird on this person's shoulder and how they're holding a wand. Many people consider you a triple threat because you're willing to take action when it comes to your liberation. You are not going to stay stuck. You are not going to endure. You will find a way out of some of the most oppressive situations you have. And you have people from your past who have witnessed you quite literally liberate yourself. Maybe sometimes Spirit is saying from a self imposed prison. Spirit is also saying some of you were in relationships with someone who may have been considered a little bit of a narcissistic presentation. Others of you, you may have been in some kind of serious caregiving situation. And Spirit is saying you had to learn quite literally how to liberate yourself from some very confining relationships, ones that kept you, or attempted to keep you under control. For some of you, too, you have, what's Spirit saying here? You have transcended some negative stereotypes about your culture or anything that is about your identity. So, group number one, you're definitely a triple threat because you have moved beyond societal definitions and you have decided to redefine and define yourself. That is very much why you are a triple threat. 27 here equals to the number 9. That means that you guide your life with the thought of wish fulfillment. 9 is the number of wish fulfillment. 9 is where you are really tapping into your goals. You're tapping into your intent when it comes to your life. So, wow. Spirit's just starting us off deep, right? But that is why you are a triple threat, group number 1. You are your own person. And for many people, that is threatening to move and navigate your life based on your own inner authority. Another reason, we have another 9 here, 9 of Cups. This is Kuan Yin. Some of this deck has nudity, so if I don't show it, that's the reason why, but I'll let you know. Kuan Yin's clothed here. But, another reason, group number 1, why you are a triple threat is despite all of the strength and the intensity it takes for you to follow your own path, you are still one of the most compassionate people anyone will ever cross paths with. You are so emotionally intelligent. You are so giving and kind. Even to people that others would say, I don't know why group number 1 treats them so well. But I think you see underneath it all, group number 1, which makes you a triple threat, is that you understand the human condition. You understand why people are sometimes the way they are. Is it anxiety? Is it depression? Is it a, a really intense feeling of abandonment or fear of it? There's something about you, group number one, that understands people at the psychological and emotional level. You may be a counselor. You may be someone who works with specific groups of people who have certain challenges. I don't know, Spirit is saying to keep that kind of broad. But you are highly, highly compassionate. If you can help, you will. If you can help someone, you would. If someone needs understanding, you are willing to give them a chance to be understood. Yeah. Here's one, but I'm going to just kind of cover it with my fingers. 2 of Wands. You know, group number one, you are a triple threat because I think that you are a person who is willing to make a choice. This is interesting. Spirit is saying that when faced with 2 incredibly difficult choices and different ways to act, you're not going to be a person who avoids making a decision. You're going to act on that decision and you will make one. It may take you some time. It may take you some deliberation. Spirit is saying for some of you, it might take you some research, but you will make a decision. You're not a person to avoid difficult decisions. And look at that. You have Ma'at. So group number one, another reason why you are a triple threat is that you weigh your decisions based on honor and truth. And you know that it requires balance. Ma'at holds the scales. And so for you, group number one, you recognize all of the different factors that are involved with making a difficult decision, but you stick to your values. You stick to your morals. You're not going to be swayed by money, position, visibility, especially decisions that sometimes come with that, right? You make this decision, you get put in the limelight. You make another decision, you may offend the people who can give you the kind of visibility and the money, the funding that you've always desired. But you understand the trap of those things. That makes you a triple threat because a lot of people will say, and Spirit is saying here, that a lot of people, in many ways, by you sticking to your values, sticking to your morals, you have created enemies. Because some people wanted you to forget that and just do what they call the easiest thing, the most practical thing. And group number one, you're a triple threat because you are grounded and centered in who you are. You're not going to be moved by egoic decisions. In many ways, yes, you are a priest. You are a triple threat because there's something about your spiritual commitment here. You will not be sold. What is that? There was a famous saying from Shirley Chisholm. And if you guys don't know who Shirley Chisholm was, she was the first African American woman to run for president back in the day. And she ran on the slogan, unbought. What is it? Unsold, unbought, unsold. Now I got to find it, y'all. It was really cool, but there was something about unbought, unsold. I'll write a note to put that in. Somebody might even say it. Hold on for a second because I'm right by my computer. Shirley Chisholm. She had a very unique look too. But what was her slogan? I'm trying to find it. Her slogan was unbought and unbossed. Unbought and unbossed. Okay? There's something there. And that energy is one that you have, group number one. And it's kind of funny because Spirit is showing me that your foes, they really intensely dislike this about you, and at the same time they respect you for it. You're the kind of person, group number one, who has enemies who admire you, enemies who are inspired by you. That is why you're a triple threat, because no one really truly could argue that you're less than moral. Another reason why you are a triple threat, unbought and unbossed, is you're a guide. I think you really take seriously that spirit, the divine, guides you. And you are a servant of the spirit of the divine, however you call it. God, Yahweh, Muhammad, or none of those names. You are a servant of your highest manifestation of spirit. And so you take that job seriously. You take that work seriously. And many people understand that about you. There may have been some people in the past who've tried to trick you into taking lower paths, but I think this is where this has come in. You've had to, over time, learn who to trust and who to walk away from. And maybe somewhere in there, you had to learn some lessons too. And you might have gotten caught up in some people's, I'm hearing right now, chaos. But you are truly an alchemist. This is why you're a triple threat. Because you could take any situation, group number one, learn from it, and then you grow from it. You take the lessons and you change who you are. If it was a thought pattern you had, a behavior you had, if it was the wrong group of people you were around, you will change that. You will literally transmute it. So let's see if we have any final words using the tea leaves. This was deep. Okay. This is why you're a triple threat. There's like no argument here. Right. You have a dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Wow. This is another reason why you're a triple threat, group number one, is that because of your ability to to be an alchemist, you are now reaping the rewards of some major changes that you made in the past. You're even reaping the rewards of some ways in which you've stuck to the honorable path. You're starting to see financial opportunities coming your way, mainly from people who say, I need someone I can trust. So you may end up being someone's right-hand person. You may end up being someone's consultant, and you're going to get paid really well for that. Really well. Because your reputation now is one where people see Group number one, I need someone in my corner. That would be group number one. Not, yeah, you're a triple threat because your enemies, they are seeing now that all their plans to try to block you from things, to try to uh, to, to steer you away from your path, it hasn't worked. It's all been unsuccessful. You do have some people who like to test you. They like to find if you have a weakness. Is it wine? Is it women? Is it men? Is it people? Somebody's out there like, I'm going to find their weakness. I'm going to find it. But group number one, you understand the scales of life. You understand ma'at, same things. Ma'at. You understand that. And so it's a higher force that you answer to. And I think your enemies will just never get that. They'll never get that you are on spirit's payroll. Not humans. Not the ego. Wow. Okay. Really, seriously. If you are in group number one and you claim this, can you please put some kind of emoji into the comments that really lets me know you're group number one? Let's come up with some kind of emoji. I don't know. It has to be fire, the flame. You can put a flame heart or you can just put a plain flame. But that lets me know group number one was here. They stopped through. And thank you for that, group number one, because, it's so easy sometimes to feel a little down about the way that the world sometimes presents itself. Sometimes you wonder, are there any good people out here? Any people who are just not willing to be bought or bossed? There's something there. Spirit's not going to let me forget that one. The Shirley Chisholm. But it's true, right? Because that's all you kind of see in politics right now. People who are bought and people who are bossed. So this is an honor to channeled for you, group number one. Thank you so much. If you resonated with any of this reading, would you consider giving me a thumbs up? Or would you, if you're not subscribed yet, I really invite you to join this community, because I channel for the people who watch consistently. I do. I feel into your energy. So I would love to keep channeling for your energy, group number one, if you desire it. Okay. All right, group number one. We are going to head into group number two. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle. Let's spray a little Palo Santo and get into your group. Group number two. Group number one was hecka deep, very deep. And I don't expect less, group number two. So welcome. I'm Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle. If you just clicked on the timestamp, and this is why you are a triple threat. Why are you, group number two, a triple threat? We're going to start off with the Lantern Oracle. I love this oracle. I love this deck. Wow. So group number two, why are you a triple threat? It says here, distorted desire. Underneath it says, conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. So group number two, you are a triple threat because you understand what it means to stay committed to yourself. to not run away from your problems. You're someone who has really learned from the past that your problems are like clouds in the background. They can just follow you from way up high. And you are someone who has had to face some very, Spirit is showing me, some very challenging things. Things that sometimes you're afraid to mention to other people because you don't want to traumatize them. Wow. And so group number 2, your story, because if you look really close in here, there's a path. Your story involves a very long journey for you to arrive to who you are right now. And you are a triple threat because of that journey, because of the lessons that you've learned on that journey. Because of those lessons, Spirit is saying right now, it's very hard for people to pull the wool over your eyes because so much of your life had to be, in healing process I'm hearing, had to be about uncovering the shadow, uncovering untruths so that you could get to the real story. Some of you were adopted under very challenging circumstances. Very challenging. And I'm channeling into one person right now who still to this day has had difficulty finding out who their actual birth parent, either birth parent or birth parents, are. And that could be because of laws, something like that you've had, or you were adopted from out of the country. Like there is something about you having a part of your life that it still remains in mystery. Yeah. And in that, you have had to understand that there's a part of your story, a part of your narrative, group number 2, that feels like it's a prisoner to systems. Yeah. This next card is important to show you, but I got to cover it up because she's naked. But 7 of Cups here. It says jealousy at the bottom. Group number 2, you are a triple threat because you live a life right now that seems very powerful. Maybe some of you have a lot of material means now. You may even be a leader in your career. You have a completely different life from the one that you had as a child. And this card, Spirit is pointing to me. Along the way, at every step of the way, you have had to combat a lot of jealousy, either from the people in your old life to now, even people in your current life. And Spirit points out that because of that mystery that surrounds you and your birth and your parentage, there is a mystery that also affects how people see you, group number 2. People do not see you often for who you truly are. So jealousy is often something that you unfortunately experience from people who think you think that you're too good to people who think you think you're too good. Like there are people who really feel like you may have left them behind in your old life. And there are people who are now in your new life who don't understand your past, who don't understand all the things that you had to do to be where you are right now. So in many ways, this card, if it kind of evokes some emotion in you, it's because it's really been a sad, it brings you sorrow sometimes. I think you've healed a lot of this, but it feels like abandonment sometimes all over again. When you have friends that become jealous, or who are initially jealous and they don't, because I think you have had relational difficulties, group number 2, with finding the right people who can be in your depths, who understand the complexity of who you are, and who can be with the humanness of your life experiences. It has quite literally been a challenge for you emotionally. But see the bird in the sky? You still will choose your freedom over all else. So, Spirit is saying you've been a triple threat, group number 2, because people understand that if you get a whiff of anything that feels like jealousy, that feels like envy in the most uh, shadowy way, you will leave. You will not endure. Same as group number 1. You will not endure. You're like, no, ma'am, no, sir. I have already been through all of those life lessons. And for some of you, you in many parts of your life had to have been alone, have to be alone. But I think you're also working on how to transition out of that. You understand the power of being in community. You understand the power of having friendships and relationships. But I think a deeper part of you is very tentative around repeating toxic patterns. In many ways, that makes you a triple threat, because you are not going to accept just any kind of relationship with anyone, group number 2. No, you're not. We have hammock here, taking a vacation physically or mentally. You are a triple threat because people see that you take care of yourself. You go on vacations. Even if you are the CEO of a whole entire company, you will take vacations. You will take time to yourself. You have a strict schedule. You maybe even in your company or organization, you really commit to work-life balance. And so you are a triple threat to people who just want to always have a sense of urgency around everything, who want to lead from old paradigms where you got to work people to death and you overwork them and underpay them. You're not that kind of leader. You have boat here, money or property through inheritance, winning, or windfall. Again, group number 2. There are so many people who think you've inherited what you have. They think that you receive some kind of help outside. And the interesting part is that for some of you, Spirit is saying maybe your adoptive parents might have left you something. So that could be true on one level if you were adopted and all that. But for many of you, this boat is just a figment of a lot of people's imaginations. It's how they are able to justify how they treat you sometimes. Very interesting. You are a triple threat because you have quite a few people out there with the bouquet who admire you, who think you're very attractive, who really want to get to know you. I don't know why Spirit is showing it to me, but sometimes you just receive random flowers at work and people are like, group number 2 has a secret admirer. Yeah, The other reason why you are a triple threat, group number 2, is that you do not succumb to greed. You're very generous. Even if you are wealthy, you're very generous with the money you have. I think some of you even give to a specific cause, whether that's children in foster care, or maybe you give to a certain kind of orphanage. There's something that you do. It doesn't have to be any of those ideas, but there's a way in which you choose to be generous. You are also a triple threat because, like an ant, you are willing to do the work. You work hard, you play hard. That's what Spirit is saying. You work hard and you play hard. So, group number 2, last few things on why you are a triple threat. Of course, you are a warrior. You know, here's the thing: you have the skill, you have the strength, you have the discipline. In many ways, some people will even talk about you as being a hero or heroine to them. And there's something about your nature that's, in certain situations, very self-sacrificing, especially to people that you think are very vulnerable. And people like your style of warriorship. They really do. Because you take care of those who need taken care of. You take care of those who are in the margins of society, I'm hearing. Wow. What makes group number 2 a triple threat? If you are identifying as a father, you have decided to be the best father you could be, especially if you didn't have really a model of that growing up. You are really dropping in to what it means to embody father energy. Now, if you are not really in the masculine energy, which typically we identify the father as, you do take on these attributes of creating safe spaces, of supporting life, of creating life, and being a guiding light within the community. So some of you may just hold that energy, especially for younger people who are younger than you. You guide them. I don't know why Spirit's showing me someone who's helping a teenager or teens figure out how to apply for university. You do stuff like that. You're a triple threat because you don't mind being alone, especially when it comes to needing to do your own healing, settling your own dust. You don't mind being alone. It also, Spirit is saying you don't mind being alone, meaning you're not going to just take any intimate relationship that comes your way. If it doesn't fit and honor your nervous system, it's not something for you. So many people are very threatened by the idea that you can just independently live your life on your own forever. You don't mind it. It doesn't seem to make you feel worried or anything like that. You have found deep happiness. Yeah, you have the monk and the nun. You have found a kind of selfless devotion when it comes to how you want to live your life, and how that even how you collaborate with Spirit, your spirit guides, your spirit team, when it comes to the life you want to live. You're very devout that way. And some of you may even be religious, so you may have like a devout, your devout kind of practice to your religion, deities I'm seeing. For some of you, you may have a cultural temple that you go to. You're a very devout person. You understand that your ancestors and Spirit has really secured you, has really assisted you in life. So, lastly, you are a triple threat because you're a teacher. You teach from your own experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've taught from this path of yours, the path that you have been, that you've come from. And you understand that these lessons you have learned do not have to be repeated by other people. If you can help it, you can give them the teachings to navigate some of life's challenges. Group number 2, you're an amazing person. And I'm really honored to have channeled this message for you, from you, for you, however we want to do this. If you want to put an emoji in the comments just to say you are group number 2, I don't know why, but Spirit is showing me a pencil. So if you can put an emoji of a pencil, that would be cool, or make a comment. But group number 2, I feel very, like I said, very honored to have tapped into these readings, especially group 1 and 2. This has been amazing. Okay. But that is why you are a triple threat. This is why people are like, they don't mess with you, group number 2. They're like, group number 2 cannot be confused. Like, group number 2 is very clear about their life, very clear about their path, because they're clear about where they came from, right? Very interesting. Okay, so group number 2, thank you so much. I'm just putting the cards back here, and we will go to group number 3. Hello, group number 3. This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle. Just spraying some Palo Santo here to clear the energy. Wow. Why are you a triple threat? Now, group number 1 and 2. That was so deep. Wow. This has been a really deep reading. I did a very short version of it on TikTok today, and I said, why don't I do an expanded reading on why you are a triple threat? And Spirit is coming through. It's like, these readings are deep. So I don't expect much less from you, group number 3. I'm just finishing shuffling the cards here. I hope you're doing well. So, group number 3. Why are you a triple threat? Spirit said one more time. I don't know, when other people are shuffling, do you kind of look, when you split the cards, do you look and see like what's there? Sometimes that's the card that comes out. Why is group number 3 a triple threat? Group number 3. Why is group number 3 a triple threat? Oof. We have false beliefs. This is a deep one. It says here, once, I gotta get my glasses for this one, you all. One moment. It says, once the untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, so are the ways that we can release the false limitations they confine us to. Deep. So, group number 3. You are a triple threat because you have and will continue to stick by the truth of who you are. You refuse to let other people define you. And I think this has come, again, just like group 1 and 2, it's come from a series of School of Hard Knocks. But your wisdom sits on your shoulder, symbolized by the owl. And you carry these tusks, right? Kind of like a necklace of tusk. Some of you might be a Taurus, but that doesn't necessarily mean everyone. But I'm saying you carry these tusks, right? These horns that emerge in front of your body. You have a very protective way about you. You protect yourself. Spirit is saying you protect your energy, you protect your nervous system. You're not out here playing. I get a very serious energy from you, group number 3, which is why you're a triple threat. You don't joke around. There's something about your healing process that's definitely made you a warrior. And you take no SHIT. Whoever you are, group number 3, you are a triple threat, and people understand this. They don't even have to know you. They can sense it off your energy. They can sense it in the way that you look at them. You have something in your eyes that's very unwavering, especially when there's something that doesn't please you. You may get real quiet. You may just look. And there's something in that look that lets people know. Do not F with group number 3. I don't think that you get a lot of people who challenge you. Maybe in the past you did, but right now I don't think that you do. But when it does happen, the whole room gets quiet. I don't know what it is, group number 3, but the whole room gets quiet when you get quiet. But there's a light around you. You can't see it here because I'm filming at night. There's a light around you. So people know that this fierceness, it doesn't come from a shadowy place. It comes from being a light warrior. This is what Spirit is saying. You are a light warrior, meaning you deal with the light, but you are also a fighter. You will take someone down in the spirit world. Maybe physically. I can't speak to that always. But in the spirit world, you could take people down. I think in the past, some people have tried you spiritually. Spirit's even saying, and this is very specific, but I'm going to mention it because it just came like that. You all may have a family line that is, how do I want to say this? And I know it's going to bring up a lot of questions, but you may have a family line that has been fighting a jinn for a few generations. And so in many ways, this is why you are a spiritual warrior. Many people in your family have been. And I know people might ask me what that is. Long story short, sometimes in past generations, especially in difficult times for a family line, there may be someone in the family that makes a deal with a jinn to get a leg up. But that deal with the jinn means the jinn is able to use other parts of the lineage for its own purposes. It feels like the lineage could be cursed in a way because the jinn may decide a number of things. It sometimes shows up as people in the family. Some people in the family never being able to be in relationships. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it, but for some of you, this is very specific. Group number 3, you're a triple threat because you have been dealing with this entity in your family line. It's not something I even like to talk about too much because I think those energies, they're very powerful. You have 3 pentacles here. You're a triple threat, group number 3, because you don't mind hard work. You've had to work for a lot of the things that you have in life. And for some of you, you're an artisan. You may come from a family of artisans. There's something about your lineage that many people do kind of the same thing, whether they're artists or they're herbalists or they're healers of some sort, or they may materially make things. There may be a family business for some of you. Um, Whatever it is, group number 3, you are a triple threat because you have some kind of tie to your family that will not be broken. You have a certain loyalty to your family. And for people who want to be in your life, they need to also be able to fit in with your family. So for some people, in terms of wanting to be in a relationship with you, that is why you're a triple threat to deal with. Because you will not choose a decision, two of swords here, that would leave your family out. Sometimes it's really hard because spirit is also saying here that you have things that you want to do with your life, but it is sometimes hard for you to understand how your families, there's something here with your family, how it all fits sometimes. I'm not seeing a toxic caregiving. I'm seeing that you are an essential part of your family. It doesn't mean that you're with them every day and the family's enmeshed, but there is something of a commitment that you have to the family. And it sometimes puts you in a two of swords position. And it's a threat to people or projects or people who work with you. There's something there. It's a triple threat to outsiders, because I think there's something about you that many people desire, whether they desire to work with you, desire to be in a relationship with you. There's something there. I'm getting very specifically for someone in group number 3. It's a spiritual quest your whole lineage is on. It's like your lineage has some kind of spiritual purpose, mission. I'm trying to get it from spirit, but it's different. Like, I haven't encountered that before. So it's harder for me to kind of get what spirit is kind of pointing out, but I think for whoever's in group number 3, you probably understand. Much of your life, group number 3, has included the dream of what it would be like to maybe not have this family commitment. And right now, this is just a personal thing that spirit is saying about you. And sometimes you wonder, what would it be like to not be so dedicated to whatever it is lineage wise you are committed to? What would it be like to just have completely your own life and just walk away from these responsibilities? You dream about that sometimes. But I don't think you're a person who would do this in this lifetime. It's weird because it is not a toxic thing. Spirit keeps saying this is not a toxic responsibility to the family, but it is also a responsibility that ties you in some way. Why are you a triple threat, group number 3? Thief. There is something about you, group number 3. You have broken quite a few hearts because of the situation. There are people who wanted to just take you away, be in the perfect relationship with you, the perfect marriage, the perfect partnership. You've quite literally stole their heart. And Spirit is saying you're a triple threat because that is what is attractive about you. Many times because you're unavailable. Not necessarily fully unavailable. It's just that you are very careful of who you would invite to be in your family. And so I think a lot of people you have met just didn't fit the bill completely. You're a triple threat because, again, you have quite a few people who are very attracted to you, who want to seek you out. It's almost like Spirit is giving me that, is it a fairy tale? You know, where the knights, there's a sword in a stone, and only the right knight with the right kind of characteristics would come along and be the one to pull the sword from the stone. Y'all remind me who it is. I know this is a famous story. Is it King Arthur? I don't know. But that's group 3. That's the like that story is pretty much like what you're looking for. This knight who can pull the sword from the stone, meaning you will know this person by their character. Their character is going to be so unique that it fits with your family's situation, whatever that is. And it's like so many knights have come from around the world. I mean, Spirit's really expanding on this story, but Spirit is showing me you have had quite a few suitors who have tried to take this sword from this stone unsuccessfully. But Spirit, I don't know why, Spirit's kind of alluding that you're going to meet this person soon. That's a whole nother reading, group number 3. That's a whole nother reading. You're a triple threat because you are a healer. And Spirit is saying that this is more around the fact that you are very aligned mind, body, and spirit. And that alignment helps you to see people for who they are. No one can trick you. You know, which is going back to that sword and the stone situation, you know who people are. You can see them. You can see if they're fully embodied, aligned mind, body, and spirit. And so you are a triple threat because you don't only use those powers in romantic relationships, you use them everywhere. And people do not like that you can see them. It threatens some people, I hear. It threatens them. They don't like that you can see through them. You are an exorcist, meaning you can not only see where people are misaligned, but you can help them heal themselves. I mean, truly, you are a healer who uses exorcism in the most kindest way. But you help people see themselves. You might work in addiction or recovery. You might be some kind of, and it's good span. Spirit showing me like you could be anywhere from a counselor, a doctor, nurse. You might work at one of those like really famous clinics that helps people to heal from addiction. That's somebody very specific. You are a triple threat because you are a queen. I mean, literally, I'm saying you have all of these knights, right? Seeking to connect with you, group number 3. This is regardless of gender. I mean, you could switch it around, but you radiate the feminine, meaning your care, your nurturing, and how you lead with that from that energy. You have many people who admire you, group number 3, but you are a triple threat because there's something about you, how you stand on business. You're not rocked from your throne. Not very often. I think group number 2 had this too. Priest. You're very devoted, but I don't think this devotion, group number 2, I think was about devotion to a particular religion. It might be group 1 too. I kind of get details a little. Group number 3, your devotion though is to your family. It's to your family. Whatever your family's into, about, yeah. Okay, so last few messages. Harp, great happiness. In spite of all that, because I don't think it's a bad or negative thing. Spirit keeps saying it's not a bad or negative thing. It's just something that you've accepted about your life, group number 3. And there's much happiness within your family system. It's almost as if your family understands this part of their mission, but it doesn't make you all bitter or unhappy, or it's not that. It's just, I don't know why I keep hearing from Spirit. It's just a fact of life for your lineage. Staff, you will be taken care of in difficult times. Yeah, I think for your family too, there's a certain understanding that you all are loyal to each other and look out for each other. You care for each other. There may even be people in your family, group number 3, that want you to have a relationship, that want you to take a chance in love. But there's something about how you're seeing things that make your decision making in their eyes seem a little more rigid. That's just something that came up. We have bag here, something important such as a new job or raise. For some of you, if it's not romantic, I think you get a lot of job opportunities. Whatever you do, group number 3, you're very skilled at it. And a lot of people want to work with you. They may even want to have you teach some of these skills. And I think it does, your family obligations do kind of teeter on interfering with that sometimes, which can be a triple threat. It's kind of interesting because a triple threat is coming through as your family, not necessarily you, or how you relate to your family obligations. That's the triple threat. Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. I think Spirit is saying here, though, if some of you have felt very challenged about this, group number 3, you are going to find a way to shift some of this. Maybe you just haven't yet. And so your family, the situation with your family it presents as a triple threat, but Spirit is saying you will find a way to have more expansiveness in your life. You will. Broken wishbone, a wish will not be granted. I think that's just the threat that you even sense, group number 3. The worry of that, of not being able to expand your life, expand who's in your life and how they're in your life. So in some ways, that's just kind of something that you're seriously thinking about. Group number 3. Wow. If you resonated with any or part of this channeled message, group number 3, could you put a sword in the comments, a sword emoji? Because you truly are a warrior. And your channeled message told the story of a warrior's life, especially when it comes to something you're very loyal to, your family. That it feels very specific. So I would be curious who puts a sword in the comments if you desire. If you resonated with any or part of this reading, group number 3, first of all, it was an honor to read for you. Can you please give me a thumbs up? It's just a way to support my brand new channel. It is pretty new, and I love doing these readings. I love that I get a chance to channel such powerful people. Group number 3. Wow. And I know you don't have to, but some of this would make sense if you explained it a little bit more about your family, but you don't have to, obviously. But yeah, Spirit didn't really show me that, which is kind of interesting, that meaning it may be private. But the Jinn did come up, but we like to not get too deep into that. It's just a very tricky energy. So group number 3, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing. This is an official invitation to join this powerful group of seers that I believe I'm connected to on this channel. And group number 3, if this is where we part, thank you so much. And let's go to group number 4. Okay, group number 4. Wow. This was not going to be like the quick reading I thought it was going to be, the channeled message, but wow, it's been powerful. Group 1, 2, and 3. Amazing. So group 4, welcome. I'm Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle. If you just click the timestamps, I really do appreciate the chance to get to channel a message for you around why you are a triple threat. I did a very quick one on TikTok, my TikTok today, and I said, let's do an extended. So here we are, group number 4. And I have shuffled the cards. Let me just kind of do that. And then let's clear the energy with a little Palo Santo spray. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Group number 4. Let's get started. Why are you a triple threat? I'm pulling a card from the Lantern Oracle, which I love this oracle. So deep, the messages. Why is group number 4 a triple threat? Why is group number 4 a triple threat? We got 2 cards. Okay. You got the presence of absence. It says, hold what is absent in the presence of your love. And then group number 4, we also got misalignment. Just putting that there in case, YouTube. It says, miracles become normal once we face all of the aspects of our lives in the same direction. I don't have my glasses on, but I think that's what it says. So group number 4, you are a triple threat because you are a person who is somewhat tied to the past. Spirit is saying, and this might be specific for someone, you're a medium. You can actually communicate and speak with those who are in the beyond, who have passed on. You work with people in grief. Some of you might work in a hospice. Some of you may work with people who are dying. You are a triple threat because your world includes those who are grieving, those who are dying, those who are dead. It's your work, group number 4. It makes some people uncomfortable because you have a relationship with the underworld. Death is often symbolized and put into the underworld. And death is not something that makes many of us comfortable, even though we all know one day we will meet our maker. I think that's an old saying. I feel like I give all these really old sayings. I am channeling my ancestor, but I'm also old, y'all. Yeah. Oh my God. Look at that. Yeah. You are a triple threat, group number 4, because you understand the grief process. You're a triple threat because you understand the deep, deep feelings that go with loss. You have been in that place yourself. Many of you have lost someone very significant in your life. And it has taken all of what you have at some point in your life. But you did heal by seeing the cup that's still standing up behind you. You went through a tremendous amount of grief at some point in your life. And now you have been able to face that standing cup, which is your life, which is left of your life, and begin to live it again. Some of you decided to change careers and really get into a career that has to do with grief, death, and dying. Others of you might have already been part of that. You may, if you're not in a career with that, Spirit is saying some of you volunteer. Maybe you volunteer at a hospice. You're a triple threat because I think I have to cover these people up too. Some of them are, just know behind this, there's a circle of beings sitting in a circle, but they're all they're naked. They're in a teepee out in the woods. You're a triple threat because this is a 10 of swords, by the way. And it says the rattle here. You're a triple threat because of this relationship you have with spirit, group number 4. And I mean spirit as in spirits, meaning spirits of people who are gone, and also spirit, the governor of these spirits. The work that you do, it calls in spirits. It works with the dead. Like that movie when he says, I see dead people. This is you, group number 4. In some relation, some fashion, your work is dealing with these underworld topics, the deep, dark shadow of our lives, the shadow that we will all have to confront at some point. You may be a clinician. You may work with people who are grieving. You may deal with a lot of really heavy topics around that. I think there's one more card here because Spirit had me pick up. Yeah. But you are also, and she's covering herself, YouTube, she's covering herself. There's no nudity here. But you have the Maiden of Cups here. Some of you might be a Pisces. This is Mami Wata, one of my favorite deities, patron deity of mine. You're a triple threat, group number 4, because you have this mermaid-like quality to you. You're a little mysterious. You're very psychic. You're very beautiful. I mean, that kind of captivating beauty where people are like, I can't figure out why I'm attracted to group number 4, but I am. You may have, low key, you're a triple threat because sometimes you have people who obsess over you, group number 4. So, and like a mermaid, you have potential suitors who want to capture you, who like your exotic look. Some of you have very long hair, and I don't know, you just have a lot of mermaid qualities. And you may identify with Mami Wata, some of you. Yeah, I have a reading on Mami Wata if you want to go in my history. There's a Mami Wata reading. Okay, why else are you a triple threat, group number 4? Not that there needs to be anything else. This is pretty deep. You're a triple threat because of there's a certain aspect of you that people can see, a childlike aspect. And maybe this has to do with the loss you experience that seems orphaned. That they sometimes people, when you don't notice group number 4, they could see the loss in your eyes. They can see that it required you to conquer a lot of your fears, this loss. And maybe that was a loss you experienced when you were a child for some of you. You're a triple threat because maybe you communicate this loss. These cards came right together. I think you communicate a lot of this loss creatively. For some of you, you're artist, and some of your artwork includes narratives and stories about this loss. This is very specific, but it's for someone. You may write about it, you may draw it, paint it, you may even do poetry. You may do other things that include some narratives about the loss you've experienced in your life. You're a triple threat because I think when this comes up, people can't compete with that kind of inspiration for your creative work. And maybe you have some people who sometimes feel like they want to be inspired or copy your work and they can't do it because your creativity is coming from a deep place of loss, and it's inspired in a particular way. Even though people feel like they can do the same thing, they really can't. Not with the same heart, not with the same emotion. Group number 4, again, wow. You must have a childlike nature that you work with often, group number 4. And it's true that sometimes people can feel that loss, but sometimes people can just feel the fun. Your ability, this is what confuses some people. Maybe this is why you're a triple threat too, because it confuses people. You can be in such very depressing, deeply grieving atmospheres. And at the same time, when you're at a party, you can let loose. You're having fun. You smile. You joke. It's not like in that work you're doing it, but when you're on your own or with friends, it's like you can kind of switch it off. Not switch it entirely off, but you're able to step out of certain energies into new ones. And in many ways, people, I don't know if they find it threatening, but they find it interesting that you could do that and not stay in a really deep, heavy energy. You are a triple threat, though, when it comes to people admiring your psychic abilities. They admire how you can bring a whole group of people into a very deep meditative trance. Some of you work with plant medicine. Some of you do ceremony. Some of you do mediumship in a community of people. So people are very threatened by your power, how you can corral people in and put them into the work of spirit. You have a spirit is saying you have a command this way of the work. One more card here, Spirit is saying. Yeah, you're also a leader. You know, people love you. You're a triple threat because the people who get you, who understand you, they are so deeply loyal to your leadership. The people who get you, the people who have been beneficiaries of your work with spirit, they really get you and they honor you. And in many ways, they protect you. So that is why your triple threat is that your community, your close community protects you. They take no kind of diss. They will not listen to any kind of diss on you. Group number 4. So that's interesting. I said 3. There might be something there. Doesn't have to be. Last few cards here. Bowl. Plenty of material things. You are a triple threat, group number 4, because I think the way that you do your work is never about seeking notoriety, seeking popularity. And you're a triple threat because you kind of present differently next to other spiritualists who want those things. You're a triple threat because you make sure that people are understanding that how to work with their ancestors. You don't hold that those teachings to yourself. You teach people how to tap into ancestral work. It's part of their grieving process, I hear. Pig, beware greed. Yeah, again, I think it's kind of interesting. It's showing, Spirit is showing something here about some people that you may be colleagues with, not close colleagues, but there may be 1 or 2 people who choose to be much more about the limelight of this work. Maybe they want to pursue television stardom, being a medium, and you're kind of not in that energy at all, even though you're very popular, I hear, or you will be. Very interesting. Rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. I think you're a triple threat there, group number 4, because throughout your work, even though it's heavy, even though it can be very deeply emotional, there is something that you bring in here, a light of hope, a ray of hope. And you help people to understand what this process is all about. There's something about your mediumship that helps people to say goodbye in healthy ways. Beautiful. Flag. Do not be tempted to lower your standards. Yeah, this is a message coming from Spirit, group number 4, especially around this colleague or maybe even other temptations that want you to commercialize your work. Spirit is saying stay on the path that makes you grounded and honest in this work. Okay. Last one, will, indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble. Yeah, what makes you a triple threat here is that you're very clear about this work and how you want to do it. And Spirit is saying there will be a lot of temptations, there will be a lot of people, opportunities to take your work to a place that no longer feeds you spiritually. And just to be aware of that and not to be pressured by that. Spirit is saying they don't really think you would be, but sometimes we can think, am I being too foolish passing up some of these things? But Spirit is saying you will know when things are right for you, group number 4. Okay. Well, group number 4, another reading that was very, very deep. And I feel very honored, seriously, to have channeled your message. In your mediumship, it sounds beautiful, like the community that you're creating or will create. I mean, we're all on different timelines, right? So some people might just be beginning to do this. Some people have done this, but you are a triple threat. Your work is the kind of work that people just naturally wish they had. And you have this natural talent inside of you to work with the dead, the dying, and the living. So, all right, group number 4. Thank you so much. And if you resonate with any of this reading, would you mind giving it a thumbs up? And for the emoji, I know it sounds a little grim, but could you put an emoji of a coffin if you connected with group number 4? I think if you did connect with group number 4, you would get that. Okay, or flowers. a white flower or something, either or. So, group number 4, thank you so much. And in general, thank everyone for being in these channeled messages. I hope they're useful. I hope they're helpful. And I hope they are inspiring. You all have inspired me, all 4 groups. Until next time, my honeys, take care.